All right, welcome everybody to the final of Vienna, and it's an interesting matchup. We're going to be watching Sinner again in a final, and he's taking on Zverev. I said yesterday this is a very important match, and I feel the same today. I think this is a very important match for the rest of the tour, right? Because I think a lot of players probably look at guys like Djokovic, Zverev, Fritz, those guys that are, just behind Sinner and Alcaraz. And I think a lot of people probably look at them and go, and I think a lot of people will be watching this match because they want to see if Zverev is competitive. And if Zverev can do something that not many players can do, right? And if there's, we're gonna find out a little bit about how far the gap is between, Sinner and Alcaraz. We saw it with Fritz. We've seen it with Djokovic. But now we're going to see it with Zverev as well. See how far away these guys are. Or if it's actually maybe closer than we expect. Maybe the gap between Zverev and Sinner is a little closer. Because Zverev has pushed Sinner in the past. He has made it interesting. It hasn't been as easy for Sinner to play Zverev over the time. So it's a very important match. Is it still Sincaraz? Or is it going to be... And the thing is, look. If Sinner wins this in straight sets... That's probably expected, right? It's more how he wins or how Zverev does. If Zverev if Zverev gets a set, okay, that's something. If Zverev gets to a couple of tie breaks and still loses, okay. If it's one side, if it's a beatdown, then it just kind of confirms how far away these guys are from everybody else. So it's going to be interesting. It will be an interesting, we'll find something out. Because I think we can all agree, we all agree that there's two guys at the top, and then there's probably three guys behind, and then everybody else. I think that's sort of the hierarchy of things right now, right? You've got Sinner and Alcaraz, you got Djokovic, Fritz, and Zverev, and then you probably got, everybody else in the top 10, like Shelton, Musetti, and Demon are probably on the same level, right? Or at least in the same kind of tier of tennis, that tier 3 level. So let's see how far away, because these guys haven't played since Australia, right? It's a rematch of the Australian Open final. We haven't had it the whole year we haven't had it. Sinner wasn't around for a while, but let's see. Let's see if Zverev can compete against Sinner. Be competitive. Doesn't need to beat him, but if he's competitive and shows some promise, then maybe there is hope for everybody else when they play these guys. Maybe it's not the Sincaraz domination era. Maybe there is some hope. We did say Fritz, he's played Alcaraz a couple of times, 4 times this year, beaten him once, pushed him again in that Wimbledon semi-final. And the last 2 times, Alcaraz has kind of recovered. By the way, chat, I'm very disappointed that apparently Paris is slow. And that is disappointing. That is disappointing. Not because I want Sinner and Alcaraz to lose, but it's disappointing because now it's going to be like, oh, well, all right, we'll just wait till the final and then we'll watch the final. Like that's... Because Alcaraz was saying, and it's funny what Alcaraz said, because of course he's happy. But he was saying like, oh yeah, it's much slower than last year. Yeah, but I'm really happy about it. I'm not going to complain about it. I think it suits my game. It's like, yeah, that's why they did it. That's why they... Yeah. Hey, I'll go get the real quote. When I read the quote, I was like, yeah, of course. Of course you're happy. Well, you should be happy. Everybody else is going to be upset, though. But Alcaraz is happy that it's slower. I'm like, yeah. Should be happy. So true what Zverev and Federer said. Does it benefit Sinner? But the thing is, it's not about the courts. It's not just about the courts. The balls are also slow, right? So if you've ever played tennis, you'll know that if you play with a fresh ball, you can feel that ball like flying through the air, going through the air and got a lot of pace on it. But then when you play with a ball that, maybe you've played a couple of matches with, I'm not saying like they changed the ball so much here, but if you play, you play with some tennis balls that have been, you've had around for a while, you've used a few times, you can tell that it's harder to hit winners off, right? That's the same what happens on the tour, except to a much bigger extreme because they're hitting way harder than us and they're hitting, they have to change the balls so much more often. But the balls the balls fluff up a lot quicker. So that also makes things slow because if the balls are rough, if they're scuffed, then they're going to not go through the air as fast and they're not going to go past players. They're going to be harder to hit winners off. So they're going to be a bit dead, if you feel a dead tennis ball, you bounce it and it doesn't bounce very high, those kind of things, right? So the courts being slower, but also the balls being not lasting very long, combination of that makes it hard for everybody hard for the big hitters or at least the big servers to get any sort of advantage on their shots, right? US Open's like a medium fast. It's slower than the Australian Open, but it's faster than it used to be. But it's still probably probably on the medium side, I would guess. What did Alcaraz? Let me read what Alcaraz said. Let me read you what he said. So he said this is regarding the Paris indoor courts, right? Now they have changed venues, so remember that as well. But even they change venues, but then they have to redo the court every year, so they've made the court different this year. So he said it's totally different from last year. It's much slower than last year, but I think it's a really good speed that we can see tennis, not only serves. Not only serves +1, so just serve and then a forehand winner, right? You can see rallies and you can see points. You can see tennis. I've said many times that I like slower courts, not that fast. And we love Carlos, right? But of course he likes that. Because of course he does. Yes. But that's been the problem with everything. That's what the comments came from, right? From Federer. It's like, yeah, it is great. Means Alcaraz will make the final, right? Unless something happens, injury-wise. But of course he likes playing on slow courts, and of course he's happy. But I don't think he needs to spin it into I feel like it's a little bit, that it's saying, oh, well, we're going to get good tennis. Yeah, he's going to play great tennis. We're going to get to see Alcaraz play some crazy rallies, and he's going to play, he's going to perform his best tennis. But I kind of wish there was guys that have massive, like a Shelton, for example, who doesn't want to play 40-shot rallies, and that's not really his style. He wants to use that big. I want to see that big serve work. That's where all the questions about variety and all the questions about styles of going out the window. Everyone's playing the same kind. But it's great that Alcaraz, of course, Alcaraz should like it because it's suited to him perfectly. Fast hard court, absolute trash. It depends who you like. If you're an Alcaraz fan, yeah, you're going to agree with that. If you're a fan of Demon or Casper Ruud, you're probably going to be, I want slower courts so I can see longer rallies and see them use their athleticism. If you're a fan of Ben Shelton, or if you're a fan of, maybe like a Taylor Fritz, you probably, maybe even a Zverev, you might think, oh, well, I want to see their serves, do well. And I want to see them serve well, so the courts being faster would get their serves going, right? So, but again, what Federer said was, even though the court speeds, if you look at the numbers, are different, it would be fun to have. It's kind of Paris being slower than last year. It's going to feel like Shanghai. Well, Shanghai wasn't slow until this year. It's like, okay. I don't know. Anyways, let's see what happens here. And I think next week, a lot of people are going to be... there'll be a lot more complaints about next week, about Paris being slow from players than people happy about the slow courts to play on anyway. And Zverev will probably be one of them because Zverev last year won the title, not on the slow courts, so... I'm sure Zverev will probably have something to say early next week in Paris about the courts because he's been critical of them in the past, of course. Anyways, I'm going to go with Sinner in straights, but I think it's going to be close straight sets. Let's see if Zverev can perform here, and let's see what he can do. He served really well last night against Musetti. All right, first point goes to Zverev, 15-love. But yeah, Carlos is the GOAT, and Federer is afraid he might break his records. Giving trash opinions. Oh my god! All right, so you're obviously had a really bad day, and you're coming in here and you seem like you're in a bad mood. Are you okay? 15-love. As the return goes in the backhand of Sinner, backing out. Nope. Zverev double faulted. 15-0. Was Musetti competitive against Zverev? He was, but Zverev's serve was just too strong. Musetti couldn't get a break point. As the return goes in the net from Sinner, and it's 30-15. 30-15. Thanks, Deb. Yeah, Paris will be interesting next week. Be interesting to see who can do well, and who's gonna take advantage of the new surface. You know, hopefully don't get. I don't think we'll get another Shanghai, but because I think Alcaraz, if he likes the courts, then he's probably going to make the final. You know. But Sinner smokes a winner down the line, 30-0. I think next week, look, Sincaraz, and we love Sincaraz matches, but I think next week, if Sinner and Alcaraz make the final without dropping a set, it's probably not good for the sport. If they don't even get tested once before they play each other, I don't think that's good. I feel like we need to have... There needs to be something interesting happen before the final. I could see it happening, honestly. I mean, yeah, for sure. It could definitely happen. It's happened, and we've seen it happen. We could see it happen again. As Zverev hits a long 30-40 break point. US Open, Alcaraz was kind of dominating, and then we saw, Sinner had a couple of matches where he had to work. So hopefully, we get an interesting match before the final. If it is Sincaraz making the final, I don't care if they. I don't mind if they make the final. If it's a Sincaraz final, good. But I would like to see them work to get to the final. I feel like we said this about Federer, Nadal, Djokovic like 5-10 years ago, being like, I hope someone can at least make it interesting before the final. Like we had this conversation for 15 years with the last guys, you know. Anyways, Zverev gets the deuce. Good serve. As that goes the net by Sinner, and it's advantage Zverev. It's a terrible image for the sport. I don't think it's a terrible image for the sport. I just think it's... I don't know. I just think it's a little bit... It's people are going to check out because then no one else is going to... And look, it's partly their fault too, right? That they're not as competitive against Sinner and Alcaraz as they should be. But it does kind of... People are not going to watch the tournament until Sinner versus Alcaraz, and if they don't play, they're not going to watch the final if it's not them, right? So, I mean, yeah, if it's a terrible image for the sport, I don't think it's a terrible image for the sport. Sounds a bit too deep, right? I just think a lot of people are not going to lose interest, right? If it's if it's not Sinner versus Alcaraz, I don't want to watch it, right? And then we're going to lose people to watching the tennis because they're not going to be interested in the players because the other players are going to be second, no matter what, right? That's why I'm saying this is such an important match, because if Zverev can not win, he doesn't have to win, but if Zverev can push Sinner here, we might go, hang on a second, maybe there is some players, some matchups that are more competitive than others, you know? Again, Zverev doesn't have to win tonight, but if Zverev does make Sinner work for it, then maybe there is, maybe it's not just Sincaraz and the rest, right? Nobody else, everybody else can just kind of sit back and, lose in the semis, right? 15 love. But I always used to I always liked Paris for being a little bit different. I mean, Nadal never won Paris, right? Federer loved. He played really well in Paris. Djokovic obviously was thriving there too. You know, it always feels like Paris is that tournament that can create a bit of, I mean, a lot of players can win their first Masters there. It felt like it was always a bit more open. But I think this year it might not be. This year it might be a little more predictable. 30 love. You know, like Jack Sock won it. You know, when Runa went on that run. You know, that was amazing a couple years ago. Even just the upsets at Paris over the years, right? Like last year with Humbert beating Alcaraz, that would have never happened at most other places. But, you know, Paris just created those kind of weird situations. Those weird, you know, results. 40 love. 40 love. Yeah, Hashanov winning back in 2009, 2000, when was it? 18. You know, even going back to like, I think Burdick won it back in like 2005, and that was like this huge result at the time. As Sinner serves an ace, and it's 1-1. 1-1. I'll tell you this though. I'll say this though. If Paris is slow and Turin is fast, that will not be good not good for anyone, because if you're using Paris as a practice for the ATP finals, but the surface's speed is totally different, that's not going to be good, because then everybody's going to be playing or expecting one type of game on the indoor hard courts, and then by the time they go to Turin, if it's way quicker, it's going to be like nobody's going to be able to play well because they're all used to playing on Paris. You know. So hopefully Turin's not like so different from Paris. If they're going to be, you know, if they are going to have a slower court in Paris, maybe Turin needs to be similar so that when we get, you know, that players can transition into the ATP finals without having to totally change their styles because we go from slow to fast, you know. Because the last thing we want to do is see the ATP finals full of, you know, error-filled matches, right? Because the players can't adjust. As Zverev is a slice net love 30. I feel like at the end of the season, they all need to, like, once they go to the indoor courts, there should be a rule that every indoor court should be the same speed. And it should be, instead of it being like week to week is different speeds, it should be sections of the tour the same. Like right now, you know, at the end of the year, all the court speed should be similar, right? Medium fast, medium, you know, whatever it is. They should all be on the same page. You know, the Asian swing all should be similar, right? Like the Australian Open, all the tournaments up to the Australian Open are all the same because, you know, they're playing the Australian Open and that's the main thing, but they've got to use those other matches as practice for the Australian Open. But if you have all varying court speeds before a big tournament, then whoever wins Paris, it might not even matter in Turin because it might be a totally different tournament. 15-30. As the return goes in the forehand of Zverev. Back it up from Sinner to the forehand of Zverev. Is Sinner with the forehand of the stretch. Sinner in the net, 30-all. But we'll see. By the way, Fonseca's coming on in an hour. We're going to watch him as well. 30-all. 30-all. We need more players to step up. If not, history will repeat itself. Fonseca, FAA, Ben need to step up. Yeah, I agree. Like it's on the players behind Alcaraz and Sinner to try and raise their level, for sure. All right, 30-all. We're going to serve from Zverev into the forehand of Sinner. Return goes to the backhand of Zverev. Sinner backhand. Cross court, the backhand of Zverev into the backhand of Sinner. And Zverev for the forehand. Sinner gets on the stretch. Hits it long. All right, 40-30. But I also think, like, And again, this is all like alleged, and maybe it's not a thing. But if the tournaments are trying to create create conditions for Sinner and Alcaraz to make, because again, that is the match, right? Sinner versus Alcaraz is the match. If you get that match at your tournament, it's like the Fadal of this era, right? Right now, Sinner versus Alcaraz is the match that everybody wants to see at their tournament because it's going to sell the most tickets. It's going to be the most eyeballs. It's the match that everybody wants, right? Every tournament wants. So of course they're going to try their best if they can, the tournaments to try to make that happen. Obviously, they're not going to rig the tournament for them, but they're going to make the courts a bit slower if it means that situation might be able to occur. But even though you can say everybody else should step up, if the tournaments are doing that, and this is all alleged, right? No tournament directors come out and said, yeah, that's what we're doing. This is all alleged, right? This is just alleged. If that's what they're allegedly doing, it's one thing to say, oh, well, everybody should just step up. But if they're allegedly trying to alter the conditions for two guys and favor them, when you get to this level, these guys, right, every little bit counts, even if it's just like the courts are a little bit quicker, which favors my game over Alcaraz, right, or whatever. If they're getting rid of those little advantages that some of those players behind Sinner and Alcaraz have, or would have had, generally, then it makes it even harder for them to step up and try and challenge, right? If the courts are allegedly the tournaments are, accommodating Sinner and Alcaraz's games, then Shelton, if Shelton had his way, he'd be like, I want to play on a fast hard court because that serve wouldn't come back, right? And then he'd probably back himself in a tiebreak. Or he'd be able to serve and use the forehand, which is, he'd be able to do that. Which might not be what, Alcaraz or Sinner want. They want to have rallies, they want to set up points, they want to be able, and Alcaraz wants to be able to do his thing. But if you've got this big booming serve that's, coming off the court and bouncing this high because it's skidding through the court, that might favor Shelton. But Shelton's not Sinner or Alcaraz yet. So, again, this is all like a big conspiracy that the tournaments would do this, but but it's hard it's maybe not as easy as just like everyone else should get better. It's like, yeah, but how do they get better if the advantages that they might have through a court speed or through a tournament gets nerfed because allegedly those tournaments want two guys in the final and they're going to try and help create that situation if they can, right? 30 love. 30 love. And everybody who's saying like, oh, Shelton's nowhere near Shelton's, I'm using him as the example because he's someone that has a big serve, a big weapon, and if that's on the right, if that weapon is on the right court and in the right situation, he might be able to use that to his advantage. But if you give him a medium court, his serve is going to be easier to return especially for the top guys, So, yeah. So they do have to step up and they have to find a way. But imagine you found a way. You go, oh yeah, I can use my serve because my serve's really dangerous. I can do a body serve or something. And then they go, oh yeah, but the courts are slow now, so that serve is not going to work. You have to go back to the drawing board. You know what I mean? Well, that stinks. Can you imagine if Shelton played against Sinner in Shanghai, right? He beat Sinner in Shanghai a couple of years ago, but then if he played him in Shanghai this year and went, oh, I beat him here last, I'm going to play that game, I'm going to use my serve, and then Shanghai nerfed the court, so they're playing in mud. Shelton's serve wouldn't, he did lose in the second round, but his serve would have been useless. You know what I mean? Compared to when he played Sinner the other time when the surface was fast. So, and then, yeah, okay, he should adapt. But it's like, okay, well, what, does everybody have to be Sinner and Alcaraz, I guess, to compete? Yeah. All right, 40-30, nice forehand from Zverev. But anyways, we'll find out next week. Maybe something shocking will happen. But I'll tell you, expect a lot of players next week to talk about the court speed. Expect that to happen. Expect a lot of players to be talking about it. 40-30. Expect the court conversation to come up next week because apparently it is slow. Or slower than last year. Might not be slow, but it's slower than last year. Please focus on this match. Thank you again for telling me how to run the show. Sinner hits wide as deuce. Nothing's happened. It's 2-1. Everything's fine. All right. I don't know why everyone's glossing over that Sinner likes it faster than these slow courts only help Alcaraz. Well, that's another thing, right? I mean, we're talking about Sinner and Alcaraz, but maybe Sinner goes next week and goes, these courts are too slow for me. So, that's also something we're going to talk about next week and, think about next week. All right, deuce. Backhand rally. Zverev. Little chance here as he goes backhand down the line to the forehand Sinner. Into the forehand Zverev. Zverev puts it away. Advantage Zverev. I love when one person says something and I respond and then 5 people be like, yeah, focus. It's like, bro, you haven't been here. You just got here. Relax. One person asked nicely and then a bunch of people start screaming. Advantage Zverev. All right. Sasha to get a chance to break. Now, get a chance to lead here, but Sinner usually serves big now. Serve. Out wide of the backhand Zverev. He gets it back. Sinner forehand. Zverev's in the rally. Backhand to backhand rally as Zverev goes into the forehand Sinner. Zverev backhand again. Sinner goes cross court. Zverev's got it, but hits it in the net. He was in that rally, Zverev. And that was a poor forehand error. Deuce. All right, deuce. So passive from Zverev in the big moment. Yeah, I think he just was trying to set it up. And Sinner had him on the run a little bit after the serve. So that wasn't all Zverev. That last miss was bad. But, I mean, Zverev was just trying to set up the point. He does take a little longer to do that. He doesn't want to, rip a return winner as that goes out by Sinner. And it's advantage Zverev again. Let's see if he does it again. I think it's funny, Cam, your stream is on point. What do you mean? What do you mean my stream's on point? You mean it's up to date? All right, advantage. Advantage Zverev. Get the break. Serve from Sinner. Is a fault. All right, now. I'll tell you what. If Zverev's got guts, he should step in and go down the line with a backhand if it goes out that wide. Let's see if he can do it. He steps in. Backhand cross court. Goes into the backhand of Sinner. Into the backhand of Zverev. It goes down the line. To the forehand. Sinner has shanked it. There we go. Okay. He didn't do it straight away. But he did get there eventually and went down the line. And that forced Sinner to shank it and he breaks. He didn't do it on the first shot. He just went, I'm going to go cross court and then I'm going to go down the line. So again, Sasha not doing thing immediately, but he is getting... His backhand is definitely not better than his forehand, and I can tell you that right now. Good start though, 3-1. Zverev takes the break. As a return goes in the backhand to Zverev, and he hits it to the forehand Sinner. Zverev forehand. Oh, it's just in. Great shot from Zverev. Just when I said the forehand was not working, he shows me otherwise. All right, 15 love. 15 love. All right, as a return goes in the forehand Zverev. Sinner forehand slice. Zverev Goes in the backhand of Sinner. Into the forehand of Zverev. Sinner, forehand again in the backhand of Zverev. Sinner goes down the line with the back. I think Zverev hit the backhand and just stood there because I think he thought his shot was going to go wide. He just stood there and then Sinner hit a winner. He's like, oh, touche. You got me, sir. All right, 15-0. All. Serve again. There's a fault from Zverev. Second serve. Second serve. As a return goes into the backhand of Zverev. Cross court, the backhand of Sinner. Zverev. Forehand goes wide. 15-30. All right, 15-30. Zverev needs some serves. Zverev with the serve. There's a fault, second serve. Second serve, Zverev. Into the forehand of Sinner. Return goes to the backhand of Zverev. Sinner on the attack. Zverev puts up a lob. Sinner with a smash. Puts it away. 15-40. That was a shame for Zverev. He just kind of, I don't know if playing it safe was the word, but he definitely let Sinner attack, hitting it a little bit short. All right, what is it, 15-40? Chance for a break back straight away. All right, 15-40. And then an ace, all right. One saved. 30-40. $30-40. Zverev serves again. Into the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand down the line. Sinner with the forehand into the volley of Zverev. Sinner gets it back, but it's long. All right. Zverev coming to the net. Deuce. That was a good play. Good play by Sasha. He would have hit that backhand and run backwards usually, but that was solid. By the way, to the guy in the chat that just keeps on saying lucky, he's very like Zverev is lucky. We get it. Can you just please relax though, because it's kind of annoying. Anyways, good serve and it's advantage Zverev. Like people in the chat, I think are getting sick of it. So just support Sinner. Go for Sinner rather than tearing down Zverev or trying to. It's a little bit repetitive. You're just repeating yourself. A little bit. Advantage Zverev. Serve to the forehand of Sinner. Return goes to the forehand of Zverev. Sinner with the forehand to the forehand again of Zverev. To that Sinner backhand. Zverev with the backhand of his own. And Sinner again to the backhand of Zverev. Down the line to the forehand of Sinner. Zverev backhand again. Into that Sinner backhand. Zverev again with the backhand to the backhand of Sinner. Who goes down the line. Zverev with a slice on the stretch. Sinner. Drop shot. Zverev gets it. Comes to the net. Sinner with a pass. Zverev with a volley. Sinner with a pass. There's a lob! And it goes in. That was smart by Sinner. Deuce. Zverev was waiting for him to try and go through him, but he went, no, I'm going to go over the top. Wasn't a bad pickup by Zverev, but the lob was just perfect. All right, Deuce. And Zverev serves again. And the return goes in the back of Zverev. Sinner with the backhand to the forehand of Zverev. Again, the forehand to Sinner. Zverev again to the forehand to Sinner. Zverev forehand down the line. Sinner gets with the backhand. Zverev backhand into that Sinner forehand. Zverev backhand again. Cross court. Sinner gets his backhand to the backhand of Zverev. Again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev forehand into the backhand of Sinner. Sinner's a wide. I tell you, Sinner is hitting a lot of errors for him. He's making a lot of errors. Advantage Zverev. "25 minutes already. All right, advantage Zverev. And Zverev tries to keep this break. And Zverev serves the fault. Second serve. Second serve. To the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand into the backhand of Sinner on the stretch. Goes long. 4-1 Zverev. Good hold by Sasha in the end. What happened with Koga? Did you win? Yeah, I finished the game the other day. I beat the Elite Four. And now I'm on to Pokemon Gold. Actually, I started playing Zelda Oracle of Ages. That's what I'm playing at the moment now. All right, 4-1. 4-1. Yeah, that was a tough hold by Zverev. But Sinner is definitely... And look, Sinner is making a lot of errors. Now, why would that be? Maybe he's just having an off day. But it's also probably because Zverev is playing a lot longer points, right? He's making Sinner play a lot more shots. Sinner's not crushing the ball like he was in the first round when he played Altmaier, right? And Zverev is just sort of, getting it back. Zverev's not, he's going for shots when he needs to, but he is really slowly setting up the points. And Sinner might be just trying to hit the winner when it's not quite there. So and he should know that because he played Demonor, but Demonor was a little bit more the last two times he's trying to be a bit more aggressive Demon when he plays Sinner. But Zverev's not really giving him any free points. So Sinner's having to try and, break through Zverev, and that hasn't worked yet. 4-1. Like Zverev is just patiently playing out these points. And Sinner uncharacteristically is making errors. That is not what we're used to seeing, right? That is not that's not the Sinner that we've watched for the last week. But that could all change. It's only one break. And Sinner's serve also struggling a little bit. Only getting 57% of first serves in, so not ideal he's not serving great yet. Needs to get more first serves in. And Zverev, on the other hand, is serving very well. 71% of first serves in, winning 71% of the points is a great start on serve for Sasha. There's a forehand from Sinner into the forehand of Zverev, down the line of the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand. Again, the backhand of Sinner. Into the backhand of Zverev. It goes down the line of the forehand of Sinner. Zverev cross court into the slice, and then the drop shot in the net by Sinner. By the way, Sinner is looking very tired. Like he is stumbling around a little bit. What is he? He's looking sore. Like he's walking around real strange. Love 15. I know he does usually have that kind of weird kind of walk anyway, but it looks a little out of it at the fatigue. I mean, maybe fatigue, but he looks a little bit like he's stumbling a little bit, Anyways, love 15. Sinner serves. Into the backhand of Zverev. Sinner backhand. Into the backhand of Zverev. Again, the forehand of Sinner. Sinner in the net. Love 30. Love 30. And Sinner making a lot, like I said, a lot more errors than we're used to seeing. Love 30. Love 30. Sinner serves again. Into the backhand of Zverev. Return goes to forehand of Sinner, who hits a drop shot. Zverev's going to get there. And then Sinner with a passing shot winner. Much better drop shot that time. 15-30. $15-30. $15-30. Sinner serves again. Serving to the forehand is Zverev. Return goes to forehand. Sinner hits another drop shot, but this one's not as good. And then Zverev drop shot. Sinner gets it with a lob, but it goes out. And it's 15-40. Please don't put scores in the chat or ruin the points. Thank you. We'll talk about it after this, but Sinner is struggling. I'm not sure what with yet, if it's, I mean, we can speculate all the things under the sun, but he is definitely not looking himself. 15-40. He's looking sluggish. Serving to the backhand is Zverev. Return goes to the net 30-40. And the thing is, he's making, like, yes, he's been practicing drop shots. Yes, he wants to do that as part of a game to beat Alcaraz in the future. But he's doing them, when he was doing them against Demonor or doing them against the guys in the last week, he wasn't doing them at 15-all, right? He wasn't doing them against Zverev at 15-all, right? Zverev's not quick, but he's not slow. You still need to hit a good drop shot if you're going to beat Zverev. But he was just kind of doing them as like I don't want to play the point anymore, like a get out of this point kind of, thing, and that's not good. He wasn't doing them as a strategy, It didn't look like he was doing them strategically. He was doing them as like I've had enough of playing this point, I'm over it. 30-40. Serving to the back and Zverev. Return goes wide and it's deuce. He is super sweaty as well. He is super sweaty. All right, we get the deuce. The return from Zverev goes to the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with the backhand slice in the net. Advantage Sinner. Advantage Sinner to keep it in one break. As the return goes out by Zverev and Sinner holds. All right, 4-2. 4-2. All right. All right, back to Zverev. Serve out wide the forehand. Sinner. Zverev with a half volley pickup. Sinner gets there with a lob. Oh, it just goes out though. That was a good pickup by Zverev. I'll tell you this, chat. I know a lot of people are talking about what's wrong with Sinner, right? And I get that, right? This is a surprise. This is a shocking start. But I'll tell you this, watching Zverev, he deserves the credit for what's going on here. He's serving great on his side. He's protecting his serve. But he's also playing these long rallies, which seem to be affecting Sinner physically. Sinner is sweating like crazy. Like, look, okay, let's go down that road. If Sinner's sick, if Sinner's not feeling well, okay, that sucks. But Zverev is doing exactly what he needs to do against somebody who's not feeling well. He's playing 20-shot rallies, and he deserves credit for that. Because what Zverev could be doing is he could be coming out here trying to hit winners off the second shot, which wouldn't really hurt Sinner, right? If he's trying to hit winners, playing long rallies and being patient is going to hurt a guy who's feeling sick, if that's what Sinner is feeling. So Zverev deserves the credit for what's going on here as he puts away the winner 40 love. Like, Zverev is wearing down Sinner. On the other hand, Zverev is not sweating a drop. He looks fresh, like he just walked out. But Sinner is drenched. And that's what's happening. You got to give Zverev the credit for that. He's the one who's working Sinner, making Sinner play long rallies. Serve out wide the backhand of Sinner. Zverev comes in with the backhand drop shot. Sinner's going to get it though. Put it away. Hey, when you're up 40 love, why not go for a drop shot? Why not? Especially if you know that making Sinner run might be just knock his gas tank down a little bit. Might not be the worst idea to just throw in a drop shot, make Sinner sprint for it. 40-15. Serving to the forehand is Sinner. Zverev with the forehand inside out winner. Too good. 5-2. All right. Zverev just taking care of his serve. 5-2. All right. Five, 2. All right. How we doing, chat? Do we have any questions besides people just arguing? Is anybody not arguing and wants to talk? Wants to have a chat? People forget that Zverev is an excellent player and he just needs a break. Yeah. Zverev never uses a towel between points. Yeah, he doesn't sweat much, Zverev. Sinner, on the other hand, is drenched. And he's looking at the coaches and seeing what's up. No trainer or anything, so that's good. How's my day been? My day's been delightful. I watched Casper the Friendly Ghost today. And I didn't realize how many cameo appearances it had. It was awesome. I haven't watched that movie since I was a kid. And I watched Casper today, and it was great. By the way, chat, there were so many movies in the 90s that shouldn't have been called kids' movies. Gremlins was one of those movies. I remember that as a kid. Casper should not have been a kids' movie. Hocus Pocus, another one. I mean, those movies were all about scary ghosts and shit. Like, how is that? How was that a kids' movie? It was it wasn't a horror movie, but it was close enough. Scary enough. I mean, there were some crazy things that happened in that movie. People flying out of cars and getting thrown through windows and stuff. What the hell? That isn't a kids' movie. It's great, though. It's a great movie. Casper. Good Halloween movie. Anyway, Sinner serving to stay in the set. All right, 5-2 Zverev. Fault from Sinner, second serve. Sinner's serve is definitely not helping him yet. Zverev in the net with a slice, and it's 15-love. You're right about Chapo looking like the guy from Hocus Pocus. Yeah, I know, right? We're going to have to watch that next week, because not Hocus Pocus, we'll watch Chapo next week, because he's playing Fonseca again. I have to rewatch, hopefully get the end of that match. All right, 15-love. Serving to the forehand Zverev. Return to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev with a slice. Goes long, and it's 30-love. I'll tell you this much, chat. We watched Zverev at the Six King Slam play Fritz. This is the Zverev that I wanted to see at that tournament. Obviously, he didn't show up then, but like the Zverev that was at the Six King Slam, I don't know who that was. Like, this is the real Sasha Zverev. Backhand return to the forehand of Sinner. Sinner puts it away. 40-love. Like, Zverev wasn't trying this hard against Fritz that day. He was barely running. He was just taking like 2 steps. I'm too far away. I'm not getting it. But this is, like, Zverev is locked in. All right, 40-love. Now, it wasn't that he always struggles against Fritz. He just didn't seem to try, unfortunately. It's a shame, because other players were trying, and like Fritz trying against Djokovic was a great first set, right? You could see Fritz was super locked in that week, but yeah, Zverev definitely didn't look the same as he does today. As we're back in there from Sinner, inside out winner. Okay, 5-3. Zverev's going to serve for the set. That was a beautiful backhand from Sinner. Probably the best shot he's hit all day. All right, 5-3. All the hard work from Zverev has come to this. Can he take the set? As the return goes to forehand Zverev. Forehand from Sinner goes long. 15-love. All right, 15-love. As a return from Sinner goes in the forehand of Zverev. Into the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with a forehand goes long. 15-all. It was a good return by Sinner. And then Zverev just overhits his forehand. And then he serves an ace Zverev. All right. 30-15. 30-15. By the way, chat, don't forget to like the video if you haven't already. We're almost at 300 likes. Appreciate that. I'll see if we can get to 500 by the end of the match. 30-15. Serve again. There's a fault. Second serve. Serving to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev with the forehand. Goes long. This is where Zverev can't get sloppy. 30-all. He's done so well to get to this point, Zverev. It would be such a waste if he got broken here. Especially off some silly forehand errors. Like a couple of forehand errors. And he's put himself in a tough spot. He needs 2 big serves. Sinner's earned this set. Zverev's earned this set. Sinner, oh, there's an ace. There you go. Hey. That's what he needed. All right, 40-30. Zverev's earned this set. All right, set point to take the first set. 40-30. Yeah, Sinner slow to react. 40-30. Serving to the forehand. Sinner, return goes to forehand. Zverev. Zverev hits it out again on the forehand. Deuce. Oh, man. 3 forehand errors. Now he's in trouble. All right, deuce. Zverev serves again. Another ace out wide. All right. Advantage Zverev. The serve to the rescue again. Same serve out wide as well. And same result. Sinner just not able to get it. All right. Advantage Zverev. Set point. Serving to the forehand. Sinner return. Goes short. Zverev comes to the net and puts it away. There it is. And Sinner just stood there and watched it go by. 6-3 Zverev. First set. 6-3 to Sasha in 45 minutes. But yeah, there's definitely... As good as Zverev was, right? And like I said, we got to credit Zverev because he's the one who has seen that, okay, Sinner's not looking like himself. Sinner's not playing bad, though, but he doesn't seem to be energetic. He doesn't seem to have his energy. He seems like a little bit slow and sluggish. He's making him work, which is credit to Zverev. By the way, 12 winners, 6 errors from Sinner. Pretty good. 11 winners and 10 errors from Zverev, but 5 aces. The serve was the big difference in that set. But yeah, he is just dragging these rallies out, Zverev, and making Sinner try and earn every point. Because whatever's going on with Sinner, he's not looking sharp yet. All right. And that's middle of that set when Zverev was up, 4-2? And Sinner had chances to break back. Oh, sorry, 3-2. What was it? 3? Was it 3-1? And then there was those like 15-40 situation. That was such a moment. If Sinner breaks back there, then who knows what happens. All right, 6-3. Zverev doing what he has to do so far. Let's see if Sinner can recover. Sinner's got to serve better. That's the first thing. If he starts serving better, then that'll help a lot. Okay. Yeah, Sinner just not looking. He's just not looking sharp. That's probably the best way to put it. It's not that he's looking injured. It's not that he's looking like exhausted or anything like. He's just looking a little bit. He's just not looking sharp. Yeah, like he's looking a little sluggish around the court. After the long rallies, he's kind of looking a little bit gassed. After some of these long rallies. And he's just missing first serves, and he's just not getting, he's just not doing what he does usually, right? He's missing shots that he doesn't, or he's making decisions that he doesn't usually make. He's doing drop shots when he shouldn't, and I know he's trying drop shots, but he's just not, his decision making seems a bit off today. But let's see if he can regain some tennis in the second set. He hits a lovely winner down the line, and it's 15-love. It all starts with a serve. It all starts with a serve for Sinner. If he can serve well, then that'll help. 15-love. There's a bit of fault from Sinner, second serve. As the return goes in the backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Zverev. Again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand down the line. Sinner gets with the forehand. Into the forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand again. The forehand of Zverev. Into the backhand of Sinner. Zverev forehand again. Into the backhand of Sinner. Zverev goes again with the backhand to the backhand of Sinner. As Zverev hits a drop shot wide. 30 love. 30 love. By the way, we've got Fokina taking on Fonseca after this, or soon. So stay tuned for that as well. All right, good serve. Sinner comes in with a backhand, but he overhits the backhand approach. All right, 30-15. Again, that's what I'm saying. Those kind of shots, right? The shots that Sinner doesn't miss, usually. That was just a bad backhand, unnecessary error. Just a sloppy error. All right, 30-15. Serve into the backhand of Zverev. Zverev in the net. 40-15. 40-15. Serve again. As return goes out by Zverev. All right, one love Sinner in the second. Now Zverev's got to stay locked in because we saw, even at the end of the set there when he was trying to serve for it at the end of the last set, he did throw in a couple of errors, but he can't afford to do that. He's got to keep that level that he was. At least keep holding serve. Because, it'll take one break of serve and then we're into a third, right? I mean, Zverev needs to focus. Stay focused. Can't have a second set siesta or any of that shit. He's just going to have to stay locked in. Because all of a sudden, in about 5 minutes, it could be 3 love, right? And it doesn't matter what the first set looked like. Who cares? All right, Zverev serves. Into the back of Sinner. Zverev with the forehand. Into the back of Sinner. To the back of Zverev. And Sinner backhand again. The back of Zverev. Into the back of Sinner. Zverev. Into that Sinner forehand. Now Zverev forehand again. The forehand of Sinner. And then Zverev in the net with the forehand. Love 15. Who does this blonde lady they keep showing? Does anyone know who that is? She must be famous. She was there yesterday. Does anyone know who that is? The cameraman loves her. They're just like... Don't tell my wife. Love 15 as that goes into the net from Sinner. 15. It's Sinner's girlfriend? What's her name? She famous? She must be famous, right? A Danish model. All right, cool. That makes sense why she's watching him and why they're showing her all the time. She's on the box though. She's in the crowd. 15. And Zverev serves again. Into the back of the Sinner. Return the ball on Zverev as we got a forehand from Sinner. Into the net. Again, that shot's not what Sinner usually does. He doesn't usually miss that. Not like that. Her name is Layla Hasanovic. Cool. Yeah, that's the person that I saw on the TV. Literally the same person. 15. Cool. Zverev serves again. Double fault. 30-0. It's not Sinner's girlfriend. Well, it's definitely the person that people were saying. I don't know if they're... I mean, she's there. She's in the house. Back in a backhand rally. And Zverev with the forehand into the backhand of Sinner. Again, the forehand of Zverev is Sinner. Forehand again to the forehand of Zverev. Down the line to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev slice. As Sinner hits a drop shot. That's better. That was much better drop shot. Zverev was so far behind the baseline. That was a perfect drop shot from Sinner. All right, break point for Jannik Sinner. 30-40. 30-40. Zverev trying to avoid going down an early break. He does. He gets the deuce. All right, deuce. Why are they not showing the score? Because the scoreboard on the screen was broken, I think. So they've just... And that's why they... I think that's why. All right, advantage Zverev. And he tries to take the first game of his serve on the second. All right. Advantage Zverev. I'll tell you what, Sinner is dedicated to losing drop shots, of course. Because he knows that's such an important shot for him to compete against Alcaraz with, you know. Zverev gets back to deuce. Back to deuce. Very important games. Back to deuce. Does anyone know who won on the women's side? I haven't watched. Bencic won pretty easily. She won pretty quickly as well in her match. All right, we get the deuce. First serve is a fault, second serve. Double fault Zverev. All right, advantage Sinner. Advantage Sinner to take the early break. All right, advantage Sinner. And Zverev serves another fault. All right, second serve. The backhand of Sinner. Backhand of Zverev again. The backhand of Sinner is Zverev forehand on the stretch. Sinner goes again. The forehand of Zverev. Down to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev's backhand again to the Sinner's backhand. Backhand to backhand rally. And Zverev again to the Sinner backhand. Sinner goes down the line. Zverev is in trouble. He slices it back. Sinner with a forehand into the forehand of Zverev. Again, the backhand of Sinner is Zverev with the backhand again. Sinner backhand. Down the middle is Zverev back in the rally. Sinner with a drop shot. Zverev gets it, but Sinner's got a backhand lob. Oh, it's a passing shot winner. And now he shakes his fist, Sinner. It looked like he was going for the lob, but he kind of hit like a really short flick backhand. It was no power. It was just sort of like an angled backhand. I don't even know what shot that was. I thought he was going for the lob. It looked like he was going for a lob. It was kind of like a I don't even know. I mean, it was just a cross-court backhand, but it had no power because he hit it behind, like back here. That's why I thought he was going to go up because it was behind him. Like Zverev hit a good shot to come to the net, but Sinner somehow from behind him kind of like scooped it cross-court. It's a very good shot. Very tough shot. All right, 2-love Sinner. Zverev returns in the back of the Sinner. Zverev with the backhand into the forehand of Sinner. Into the backhand of Zverev. Sinner with the backhand of the forehand of Zverev. Zverev overhits it though. 15-love. 15-love. All right. Good serving. 30-love. 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 As a return from Zverev goes to forehand to Sinner. Down the line's a winner from Sinner. 40-love. 40-love. All right, 40-love. Seven to the back of the Sinner. Zverev. Backing it from Sinner to the forehand to Zverev. Zverev in the net. 3-love. 3-0. Sinner in the second. Very, very fast turnaround. All right. That's all it takes. Just one sloppy game from Zverev after playing so sharp, and then Sinner takes advantage. All of a sudden, 3-love in 15 minutes. In the first set, it might as well never happened. All right. Cool. How we doing, chat? What's going on? Did anyone do anything interesting on the weekend? Anybody get up to anything interesting on the weekend? Any fun, exciting plans or anything? Was there any interesting things happen? Diwali celebrations. Nice. You're waiting at the airport? Cool. Nothing here? Okay. Grocery shopping? Woohoo. I just had a trip to Jersey Channel Islands to visit mum and family. Nice. Just occupied with so many research projects for uni. That's all right. You'll get through it. You'll get it done. Three-love. Had a lovely long walk along the canal in the autumn sunshine this morning. Nice. UFC was crazy. Yeah, I saw the fight, the poke of the eye. All right. Nice hitting from Zverev. 15-love. Oh, pardon me. Ate really good food on Diwali. Nice. Had 2 birthday celebrations this weekend. That's cool. Fall festival. Hello from Sweden. What's up? You were letter writing? Cool. Anyways, 15. Love as Sinner hits a winner. 15. Oh. 15. Oh, nice forehand winner by Sinner. Weddings, weddings, weddings. Okay. Nice. New handles on the kitchen cabinets. Nice. 15. Oh. Is it a backhand from Sinner into the forehand? Zverev. Zverev hits it out. 15-30. 15-30. Preparing for a hurricane Jamaica. Well, stay safe. 15-30. Inherited a house. Holy shit. You win. All right, you won. You inherited a whole house. You win. That's crazy. How'd that happen? I mean, that's crazy. Inherited a house. All right. In need of an architect? Cool. What's wrong? Why? What's wrong with the house? 30-0. As we serve from Zverev. There's a let. All right, serve again. There's a fault from Zverev. Second serve. Second serve. To the forehand of Sinner. Backhand from Zverev. To the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand down the line. Sinner gets up the forehand cross court, but it's wide. 40. 30. Grandma, who's 101, now lives in a retirement home. The house is not the best condition. Okay. 101. That's a hell of a long time. All right, first is a fault, second serve. As a backhand return goes back in Zverev. Sinner with a forehand into the forehand of Zverev. And Sinner hits a drop shot. Oh, it's in! It looked like it was going to go wide. That was the best drop shot Sinner's hit ever. Jeez. All right, deuce. What a drop shot. Serve. There's an ace from Zverev, advantage to Zverev. Volleyball tournament for my twins all day yesterday from 8 till 4 p.m. That sounds brutal. All right, Zverev with a let. Zverev too strong on the serve. Right. 3-1. Sinner with the break. All right. 3-1. Sinner's getting increasingly confident with drop shots. I mean, that was a great drop shot. He's only hit probably 2 out of maybe 5 that were good so far. First set he hit a few that weren't great. So it's still not, it's still a work in progress. But if he can hit it like that more often, then that's exactly what he's been trying to do, right? was part of the Witches' Crawl. About 20 of us met decked out in witches' costumes, met on a wine tasting, and walked to the famous pub for music and fun. That sounds insane. Apparently, Mariah Carey was in town yesterday, and there was also a Pitbull concert, and 1,000 people dressed up as Pitbull and walked the streets of Melbourne to go to the concert. I wasn't there. I was here. But that was crazy. So that would have been a sight to see. 20 witches walking around the streets. That sounds fun, though. 15 love. As the return goes out by Zverev. 30 love. Love. All right, first serve's a fault, second serve. Serve to the forehand, Sinner. Zverev, forehand from Sinner to the forehand, Zverev slice. And Sinner, forehand inside out. Goes wide, 30-15. All right, 30-15. Sinner serves again. An ace. 40-15. Serve again. There's a fault. Second serve. As the return goes into the backhand of Sinner, backhand of Zverev sliced. Into the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with a pass. Sinner with a volley in the net. 40-30. By the way, to the guy that, this is a general message. To anybody who's like talking about why, like Sinner, what happened 12 months ago with Sinner, he got banned. He did time. So, like, it wasn't like he got off scot-free and he didn't have, like, nothing came of it. He was banned for 3 months. Now, you might not be happy with that. You might have thought it had to be for a year. You might think it should be a life ban. But he did get punished for it. So, I don't know why people keep, like, you just won't let it go. He got banned for 3 months. It's over. It's done. The end. We've moved on. Or at least most of us have. Some of us are still living in the past. But it happened and we move on because he got banned and now we're here. So. All right, deuce. As with a forehand out of the backhand of Sinner. Into the forehand of Zverev. Sinner with a backhand. Into the forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand again. Into the slice of Zverev. Sinner. Forehand again to the slice of Zverev. And then Sinner comes in. And puts away the forehand winner. Advantage Sinner. To stay up the break. Advantage Sinner. You stop doing these drop shots. Yeah, that last drop shot he did wasn't great. But he is... It's something that he has to do in these matches, right? Because it's a shot that he knows that is going to help him if he can get it to work, against Alcaraz in the future, right? That's something that he feels he needs to do. Is to add that to his weapons. Backhand goes down the line from Zverev into the forehand of Sinner. Zverev forehand again. Sinner gets it back as Zverev goes down the line. Sinner's backhand cross-court winner. 4-1. All right. 4-1. 4-1. In the second. Okay. All right, 4-1. Sinner in the second. Let's get, because Fonseca Fokina is about to start, so we'll get that on the card as well. Because that is also about to begin. Don't worry, though. We'll keep an eye on Sinner and Zverev will be our focus, but we've got Fonseca versus Fokina is also going to be... we're going to watch that after this anyway, but don't worry. Sinner versus Zverev is our main focus. All right, 4-1 Sinner in the second. All right, welcome everybody. We've got two 500s events at the same time. Sinner and Zverev are going at it. It's one set to Zverev. And Sinner is up 4-1 in the second. And Fonseca versus Fokina is also about to begin, which is... both those guys are trying to win their first 500 event. Fokina's trying to win his first title. Never won a title on the ATP Tour yet. Fonseca won at the start of the year. All right. 4-1, Sinner. Sinner. Played provincial lawn bowl trials yesterday. Waiting to hear if I made the team. Good luck. Good luck. If you didn't make the team, you're out of the family. But good luck. No pressure. If you lose, you're out of the family. 15 love. As Zverev serves again. Serving to the front is Sinner. Sinner hit the long. 30 love. Love. As we got a back in from Zverev into the slice of Sinner. 40 from Zverev. And Sinner with a passing shot in the net. 40 love. 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 As the return goes backhand of Zverev and Sinner puts it in the net. All right. 4-2. 4-2. That's why Zverev poured his soul into that ring. Huh? What are you talking about? Anyways. Back to Sinner. 4-2. Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. Now here we go. Fonseca and Fokina walking out. And to the backhand from Sinner to the backhand of Zverev. Sinner into the backhand again of Zverev. To the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand again. Goes wide. 15 love. Love. Serve again. Here's a let. Serve again. As that goes out by Zverev on the return. All right, 30 love. First serve was a fault, second serve. Love. As the return goes in the backhand Sinner. Zverev backhand slice. Into the backhand slice of Sinner. Backhand Zverev down the line. Sinner gets with the forehand cross court. Into the forehand Zverev. Sinner goes down the line with the forehand winner. 40 love. Fonseca walking out on court. All right, 40 love. Will Fokina finally win a title? That's what we're here to find out. All right, 40 love. Sinner serves again. Into the backhand Zverev. Sinner backhand. To the backhand Zverev. Sinner with a forehand goes long, 40-15. All right, 40-15. Serve again. There's a bit of slice lob. Into the backhand, the smash of Sinner, but Zverev gets it back, and Sinner with a forehand to the forehand. Zverev and Zverev in the net. It's 5-2. Fonseca got really lucky with his path to the final. Even if he wins now, it would mean nothing. Hater. Hater. Jealous hater. 5-2. I'm not even mad. Yeah. Oh, it means nothing. Okay. It's funny. Imagine hating on a 19-year-old. That's crazy, right? All right. 5-2, Sinner. Fonseca got a walkover in retirement. Fokina got 2 retirement. It's not luck. It's the end of the year. Exactly. But also, like, that person is just scared that the Fonseca army is going to start marching down the street, and they're just scared of that. So I get it. I'd be scared too if I wasn't in the army. Wasn't part of the army. I'm one of the generals. I'm at the front leading the charge. All right, 5-2. All right, let's not start yelling, getting angry at each other. Let's just laugh at each other. All right. Let's see if Zverev can take us to a... Sorry, if Sinner can take us to a third. All right. Here we go. Zverev to serve. Now, Zverev has to hold here. He's got to serve first in the third. He has to serve first in the third. Serves an ace. 15 love. $15 love. As the return goes in the net by Sinner. 30 love. $30 love. As the return goes out by Sinner, 40 love. As the return goes in the forehand, it's Zverev. Oh, Zverev overhits it. That would have been a great shot. But he missed it. 40-15. By the way, Chad, I don't think we watch anything tomorrow because Paris, nothing interesting is happening. And that's, and Eala's not playing tomorrow until she's playing on Tuesday. So she's playing doubles, but I'm not sure. It depends on how, I guess, how I feel tomorrow. But pretty sure we're not going to watch anything tomorrow. Day one Paris is pretty empty as far as I can tell. A Sinner in the net, 5-3. Yeah, like none of the big guns are playing until day 2, 3, 4. There's no matches that Dimitrov coming back is really nice, but there's no stop everything, we have to watch this match kind of thing tomorrow. Yeah, pretty chill. And then, but the day after that, then gets hectic, right? Because that's what happens with 1 week 1000s. Like day 2, full steam ahead. Everything gets nuts. All right, Sinner serving for the second. He comes to the net and puts away the volley, and it's 15 love. As we just serve again from Sinner. And Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. As the return goes to the backhand of Zverev. Sinner backhand to the backhand of Zverev. Sinner backhand again to the backhand of Zverev. Zverev in the net. 30 love. Did you see the schedule for Hong Kong? Where is Eala Cam? She's playing doubles. She's not playing singles tomorrow. Zverev, by the way, not a great shot from him. Bad miss on his favorite shot. Actually, I think she's playing doubles tomorrow. But it just depends on when. Maybe we'll watch her. I don't know. Depends on what I do tomorrow. All right, 30 love. Sinner in the net. 30-15. All right, Fonseca serving first against Vakina. I'm going to go Fons in 3. As Fonseca puts away the forehand winner. 15 love. 15 love. Serve again. She plays third. You're talking about doubles though, Dutchie, right? Like everything I just said. You're talking about doubles, right? She's not playing singles. Anyways, Sinner, 40-15. Set points to take us to a third. Arsenal 1-0 up. Up the Arsenal. Up the Arsenal. Against Crystal Palace. Down the Palace. But hang on. Has the Premier League season started already? How long? It's been on for ages. The hell? I'm a fake fan. 40-15. Sinner serves an ace. We're going 3. Zverev will serve first in the third. 6-3, 3-6. Arsenal on top. Let's go. 6 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Jeez, Chad, I need to get back into it. Pardon me. So we beat Man U. We lost to Liverpool. That's our only loss. Draw with Man City. Beat Newcastle. Beat West Ham. Beat Fulham. Beating Crystal Palace. Up the Arsenal. Up the Arsenal. Oh, we won the Emirates Cup as well. Let's go. Let's go. Anyway, second set. Sinner, 14 winners, 7 errors. 5 winners and 11 errors from Zverev. And it was only the one breaker serve in that second game where Zverev just maybe took a little bit of a sleep. And the set went to end up going to Zverev, Sinner from that one break. No break points after that either. That was the only time there was break points was the second game of the set. After that, it was everybody held serve pretty quickly. Fonseca won love. See, only the one game where the server was broken. All right. Oh, me. 1-0 to Fonseca. Okay. We already played 9 rounds of Premier League. Yeah, I didn't even know that. For some reason, I thought it was going to start now. I don't know why I didn't. Maybe because of NBA, I'm getting confused. Go to sleep. Anyway, Sinner is making you and Zverev sleep for sure. I'm sorry, why are you so aggressive? Are you okay? It's Sunday. Shouldn't you be relaxed? Everything's fine, brother. Just relax. It's okay. Everything will be okay. Love 15 as Fokina shanks it wide. Love 30. Love 30. NBA starts next week. Nice. Love 30. Fonseca a chance to break. As Fonseca serves. So Fokina serves a fault. Second serve. The return goes into the forehand of Fokina. Backing it from Fonseca into the backhand of Fokina. Slice goes wide. Love 40. I love how so many people that don't like Fonseca are already chirping. Like, you guys have got too much time. You just got to relax. All right, back into the net. There's the break already. 2 love for Fonseca. 15 love Zverev as the return goes in net by Sinner. 30 love. I'm going to name names. Ibrahim, Blue Starlight. There was somebody else there. Who was it? Did you disappear? You run away. Where'd that person run to? Somebody else was saying it too. Who else was it? There was another person too. Who else was like, oh my God, I can't believe Fokina's losing already. Yeah, where was that person? Who else is there? Who else? Oh, they ran away. Oh, you got away this time. All right, 2 love. Zverev 30 love. Zverev serves again. No, not you, Ibrahim, the other one. Who's like, I can't believe Fokina's losing. I don't like Fonseca so much. I'm so angry at Fonseca for no reason, just because he's really good at tennis, and I don't know why I'm so mad. 40 love. All right, 40 love. Zverev to get off to a good start in the second. All right. Zverev holds. 1 love. All right, love 30. Love 30 as Fonseca hits an ace. 15-30. By the way, don't put scores in the chat. You've been asked nicely enough That's one of the big rules of the channel. Don't put scores in the chat. We've got a scoreboard. Don't need to put scores in the chat, especially when they're ahead of everybody. Like some people are listening and looking at the chat, and then you give the score away. It ruins it for everybody. So don't do that. And just be productive in the chat. You don't have to type the score. That's why I put a scoreboard on the screen. So you can type words, other words. All right, 30-all. 30-all. As Fonseca serves again. A fault, second serve. As the return goes to forehand Fonseca. Fonseca in the net, advantage for Kina. 15 love, Sinner. Love, as Sinner serves the fault, second serve. Second serve. The backhand of Zverev. Sinner backhand to the backhand of Zverev. Down the line of the forehand of Sinner on the stretch. Zverev forehand down the line. Sinner with a backhand pass. But Zverev volleys it away. And it's 15-all. And Fonseca survives. Deuce. Fonseca is so fired up, by the way. I love it. All right, as Vakina hits a winner, it's advantage for Kina. Sinner serves. A fault, second serve. Second serve. As the return goes back into Sinner, back into Zverev. Into the forehand of Sinner. To the forehand of Zverev. As Sinner forehand again. Cross court the forehand of Zverev. Again the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with a slice. Can't get there. All right. 30-15. Nice hitting from Sinner. Also back to deuce. Good serving from Fonseca. He puts away the winner. All right, 30-15. Serving to the backhand of Zverev. Forehand from Sinner to the backhand of Zverev. And a Sinner backhand to the forehand of Zverev. And Zverev puts away the winner. 30-all. All right, 30-all as Fonzie gets to advantage to go to 3-love. All right, 30-all. That was a great shot by Zverev. Fonseca holds, by the way, 3-love. As Sinner serves the back of Zverev. Return goes in the forehand of Sinner. Sinner puts it away. 40-30. I'm done. Basel is an unserious tournament. Blue Starlight, why do you hate Fonseca so much? What did he do? Did he steal your girl? Like, what the hell, man? Why are you so angry? You are so upset. Were you okay? What happened? What happened? You've boycotted Basel because of Fonseca. What did he do to you? 40-30. Was it a backhand from Sinner into the backhand of Zverev? Sinner with a forehand to the forehand of Zverev. And Zverev hits a winner again. Sinner couldn't get there. All right. Back to deuce. All right, deuce. All right, deuce. Zverev trying to get an early break in this final deciding set. And Sinner serves an ace. Advantage Sinner. To level this final set. Advantage Sinner. Sinner serves a fault second serve. Fokina just making errors everywhere. Love 15. Fonseca's put pressure on already. So much pressure. We already know Fokina's record in finals as well isn't great. As Sinner hits a winner, it's 1-1. Another day, Sinner would have won 6-2, 6-1. By the way, untrue. It's false. Go look at the head-to-head between these guys and look at all the results. None of them have ever been that one-sided. Like Zverev and Sinner's matchups have never been 6-1, 6-2, 6-2, 6-1. So another day, it would have probably been the same. Like 6-2, 6-1 has never happened in their history yet. So I mean, you're. What are you basing that off? A hope and a prayer. Even the Australian Open final was a tiebreak in the second. It didn't feel like the match was close, but it was still, on the scoreboard, it was pretty close. Second set tiebreak. Zverev didn't get blown away. Definitely wasn't 6-1, 6-2. Anyway, it's 30-all. Fokina hits it out. Chance for Fonseca to get the double break. All right, 15. I love 15. Nice. Winner from Sinner. Love 15. As the return goes back into Zverev, backhand from Sinner. Into the backhand of Zverev, a Sinner backhand again. To the backhand of Zverev, a Sinner backhand goes long. 15-all. All right, 30-40. Fonseca for that double break. 30-40. By the way, apparently the last time there was someone this young in the final of Basel was Roger Federer back in 2000 and something. 2003, I think, maybe, or 2002. Fonseca has rewritten the history of Roger. Great backhand from Fokina. Deuce. So I think the last time there was a 19-year-old in the final, I think it was Roger. So there you go. Cam, are you comparing Roger Federer and Fonseca? That's crazy. Fonseca's got 0 slams. Roger's got 20. Yeah, I am. That's exactly what I'm doing. All right? That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm saying Fonseca, Federer, they both start with an F. So therefore, Fonseca is the new Roger. All right? That's exactly what I'm saying. In fact, he's better than Roger. How about that? That's exactly what I'm saying. 15. 15-30. There's a backhand into the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with the backhand. Again to the forehand of Sinner. To the forehand of Zverev and Sinner. Hits it in the net on the forehand. 30-all. Advantage for Fokina. There's a forehand from Fokina to the forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca and then Fokina's on the board. 3-1. Fonseca with a break. Alcaraz could have won Basel easily and finished with number 1. Oh, okay. Alcaraz could have won if he played. Oh, okay. All right. 40-30. Great forehand winner by Zverev. Lovely angle. Well, if my favorite player played, everybody would have won. No, Alcaraz didn't play Basel because he's scared of Fonseca. That's why he didn't play. He was like, ooh, yeah, I can't play next week. Sorry, yep, sorry. Sorry, Roger. I can't be there. Sorry. I know you want me there so badly, but I can't be there. Sorry. I have a wedding on. That's why he was busy. Yeah, Alcaraz was busy this week. He was busy dyeing his hair. He was scared. He saw Fonseca and he's like, ooh, I need to dye my hair, Roger. I'm sorry, I'm busy. It needs to be extra blonde for the final next week in Paris, all right? All right, Zverev holds 2-1. As Fonseca hits a backhand long, love 30 again. Love 30. Love 30. Love 30. As return goes in the forehand of Fonseca. Fokina with a slice. Fonseca with a volley winner. 15-30. All right, 15-30. 15-30. 15-30. As a return from Fokina goes in the forehand of Fonseca. Fokina backhand. Into the backhand of Fonseca. It's Fokina backhand again. Into the forehand of Fonseca. Fokina goes again. The forehand of Fonseca. Fonseca in the net. And it's break points for Fokina. 15-40. I think even if Zverev loses, it's been a good match. Oh, yeah. This is what I was hoping for at the start of the day. You know, it didn't have to be Sinner, Zverev beating Sinner to make it feel like, again, just like Fritz playing Alcaraz, there are all these matches where we're kind of trying to figure out, okay, well, how far away are Sinner and Alcaraz? And can anybody challenge them? And I think after today we can say, yes, Zverev can challenge Sinner. Not that we've seen in the past he already has, right? But they have only played twice this year. This is the second time, right? And yeah, okay, Sinner didn't look great in the first set for whatever reason. But I think we can definitely, if they do play at the ATP finals in a couple of weeks, we can look forward to that match going, okay, Zverev was close last time if he doesn't win. If he wins, Fokina breaks back. 3-2 Fonseca. So it's good. This is what we need. We need this. We need these kind of matches from the guys in the top 10 to at least show us that they can compete against Sinner and Alcaraz. All right, serve into the forehand of Zverev. Forehand from Sinner to the forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand into the forehand of Zverev. And Zverev overhits it. 30 love. 30 love. Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. As backhand goes into the forehand of Sinner. Backhand from Zverev. Into the forehand of Sinner. And Zverev forehand to the backhand of Sinner. Now to the backhand of Zverev on the stretch. Sinner with the forehand again to the slice of Zverev. Sinner forehand drop shot. It's too good. All right, 40 love. 40 love. $40 love. $40 love as Sinner serves again. As we get a let from Sinner. Another unsuccessful drop shot. What are you talking about? That was successful. That was a great drop shot. 40 love. Sinner with a forehand down the line to the backhand of Zverev. Zverev in the net. 2-0. 2-all in the second. Okay. 2-2. The way Zverev is playing, he might win. Why'd you say that? Why'd you say that? Why'd you say that? Anyways, 15:30. Chance for Fonseca to get the break again. All right. Sinner with a forehand to the backhand of Zverev. Zverev hits it wide, and it's love 15. As Fokina hits a fault second serve. All right. Good return from Fonseca, and then he hits a forehand winner down the line. 15-40. 15-40. As Zverev hits a forehand. He hits it long. Love 30. Love 30. All right, 30-40. One save by Fokina. All right, forehand from Zverev into the backhand slice of Sinner. Sinner in the net, 15-30. After Paris, other tournaments before the finals. Yeah, there's I think there's a tournament. There's a tournament in Greece, and then there's a tournament in as Fonseca breaks again, 4-2, and then I think there's a tournament in France too, right? So you got Greece, and I think Metz might be the other tournament. I think. Let me triple check. So you've got, Metz and Greece. Indoor hardcourt events. Djokovic is playing in Greece. And FAA, Bublik, Kaboli are playing in Metz. Hashanov, Lehechka, Menchik all playing in Greece as well. But Djokovic is the man. 15-40. Break points for Sinner. Break points. 15-40. As the return goes in the front of Zverev. Zverev puts it away. 30-40. 30-40. Still a break point for Sinner in the start of this final set. 30-40. Serve out wide as a fault. Second serve. Serve in the forehand of Sinner. Return goes back in Zverev. Sinner with the backhand again. The backhand of Zverev. Into the backhand of Sinner. To the forehand of Zverev. Sinner goes cross court with the backhand. Zverev backhand goes back into the backhand of Sinner. Into the forehand of Zverev now. As Sinner making his move. Zverev forehand cross court. Sinner gets it back. Zverev down the line. Now Sinner's in trouble. As Zverev at the backhand cross court. Sinner gets it. Again to the backhand of Zverev. They're back in the rally as that hit the tape by Zverev. Sinner. Zverev puts the forehand cross court. Stays back though. And Sinner hits it out. Zverev got a little lucky. Deuce. Definitely got lucky on that net cord. Because the ball kind of just propped up. And Zverev was able to unleash. All right, deuce. 30 all, by the way. Fonseca with a 223 kilometer an hour serve. Him. He is him. 30 all. Serve to the backhand of Fokina. Fokina in the net. By the way, Sinner slipped over and Zverev hits a lovely backhand winner. Advantage Zverev to stay in front in the final set. All right, 40-30 for Fonseca to go to 5-2. Seven to the forehand of Fokina, forehand of Fonseca. To the back of Fokina. It's Fonseca forehand into the forehand of Fokina. Fonseca hits it long. I'm going to get demonetized, aren't I? Anyways, that goes out by Zverev. Went back to deuce. All right, back to deuce. Serve again from Zverev. As he serves an ace out wide. That serve out wide has been saving his game today, Zverev. The serves out wide have been so helpful. Oh, pardon me. So important for Zverev. All right, advantage Zverev. And the serve down the tee too strong. All right, the serve comes to the rescue again. 3-2 Zverev. He stays in front. Final set. So advantage Fonseca as Fokina forehand goes goes out. 5-2. 5-2. They're playing Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi. One of the greatest karaoke songs of all time. So I've heard. Okay. 3-2 final set. Breakpoint conversion's not good for Sinner today. That's because Zverev is serving well. Like, Zverev is serving so well down break points. So you got to credit Zverev. He is the reason why that is happening. He is serving massive serves when he needs to on break points. Some of them aces, you know. He served a couple of aces out wide on break points to survive games today. Zverev, not Sinner. Sorry, Zverev. Well, who will win, Zverev or Sinner? I don't know. Hey, Bruce. Thanks for becoming a member. Appreciate it. Fonseca about to win the title of his life if he continues playing well? Hopefully. I hope so. All right. 3-2. Zverev final set. Sinner to serve. No worries. Thanks for becoming a member, Bruce. Appreciate it. Welcome. Don't forget to join the Discord. All right. 3-2. Zverev. Sinner serves a fault. Second serve. And Sinner comes in with the volley, but Zverev with a passing shot. Lob goes in. Love 15. Beautiful lob by Zverev. 2 hours played, by the way, in this final. As the volley from Fokina is very nice. Fonseca gets it back. Fokina pass straight through Fonseca, and Fokina's like, I'm sorry, we just standing right there. Where was I going to go? 15-0. You're standing right in the middle. I had to hit it somewhere. Fokina made the right choice. Went straight to the body of Fonseca. That's fair. Fair play. All right, 15-0. As Fonseca then hits a passing shot at 15-30, and he laughs at his coaches. All right, 15-30. That was like a forehand swat shot by Fonseca. He didn't mean to hit it that good. He's laughing because it was just a silly shot that he didn't mean to hit a winner off. 15-0 here as Zverev hits a forehand wide just. 30-15. As Fokina gets to 30-0. All right, 30-0. Fokina serves again. Into the corner, Fonseca in net 40-30 as Sinner with a good serve gets to 40-15. All right, 40-15. Sinner serves a fault, second serve. And Fokina's in trouble. A deuce. And Sinner overhits. And it's 40-30. Sinner to level. The final set. All right. Set point for Fonseca. Advantage. Advantage Fonseca. Sinner holds 3-0. All right. Advantage Fonseca. Set point. Server to the back end of Fonseca. Return goes to forehand for Fokina. Fonseca forehand on the stretch. Goes in the net. We get the deuce. All right, we get the deuce. One set point saved. As with a volley from Fonseca as a winner. Advantage Fonseca. Set point number 2. Also 15 loves Zverev. Set point number 2. As Fokina survives, we get back to deuce. Also Sinner with a lovely winner. $15-0. All right, advantage for Fokina to make Fonseca serve for the set. Sinner at 15-0 here on Zverev's serve. He's got a forehand from Sinner into the net. Oh, Sinner really limping there. What happened? Sinner's leg just kind of gave out. His left thigh, I think. Yeah, that was Sinner's stretching out his leg. That's stretching out his legs. That was weird. 30-15. Sinner can't barely move. It's his hamstring. He's grabbed his hamstring. 40-15. This is bad. I don't know if it's cramp. It looks like it looked worse than that. But we'll wait and see. Serving to the forehand of Sinner. Return goes back in Zverev. Sinner backhand slice. And Zverev with the forehand again. The back of Sinner. Sinner hits a wide. 4-3. I reckon Sinner's going to call the trainer. It looked more than a cramp. It didn't look like cramp. And if he calls the trainer, then we can probably guess that it's not cramp. It looked bad. Like it didn't. I mean, it looked awkward, bad. It didn't look bad, but it definitely seemed he seemed to pull something in his leg or hurt his leg. All right, 30 left in second, by the way. No trainer, I don't think. So maybe it. Let me have a look. They're showing the replay. Maybe it was cramp. I'm trying to look at his leg, because when you see the leg muscles like tense up when they're not really doing anything, maybe it was cramp in his thigh. He's not getting the trainer, so yeah, I think it's cramp. It looked like he was shaking it out, and there's no trainer because you can't get a trainer for cramp. So maybe it was a little bit of cramp in the thigh. It's so awkward though. 30-15, by the way. Fonseca 2 points away from the first set. Yeah, he's drinking some pickle juice. Yeah, it's cramp. It is cramp. Chat was right. Whoever said that in the chat was right. It's cramp. He's drinking pickle juice. He was drinking the pickle juice. Sinner's got cramp. Sinner's left leg was cramping. Terrible time for that because he's down 4-3, and if Zverev breaks, he's served for the match. 30-all, Fonseca. Let's see if the pickle juice kicks in quick. All right, 30-all. Great serve from Fonseca. Set point. 40-30. Set point Fonseca to take the first set here. All right, Zverev with the lead. Final set, 4-3. As Fonseca serves into the forehand of Fokina. Return into the backhand of Fonseca. Fokina backhand of the backhand of Fonseca. And Fonseca in the net. Deuce. 3 set points saved by Fokina. All right. Nice hitting from Sinner. 30 love as Fonseca with another good serve gets to advantage. Set point number 4 to take this first set. All right. Advantage Fonseca. Sinner with an ace, 40 love. Advantage Fonseca. Serve. Into the forehand of Fokina. Return goes to the forehand of Fonseca. Fokina can't get it. First set. Goes to Fons. 6-3. All right. First set in the bag. Sinner holds very easily. Great serve. Probably the best service game of the day for him. That was super easy. 4-4. Let's see how Sinner does on the return, though, because that is where he's going to have to use his legs. Even more so. First set, by the way, 15 winners, 15 errors from Fonseca. 4 winners and 12 errors from Fokina. So he needs to lift. Fonseca hit 12 forehand winners. Ridiculous. All right, good serve from Zverev. The return goes in the backhand of Zverev. Backhand from Sinner. And Zverev shanks it. And it goes long. Love 15. All right. There's the backhand goes in. The backhand of Sinner. Forehand from Zverev to the forehand of Sinner. Again, the forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand. Goes long. 15-all. Zverev serves again. Serves an ace. God, Zverev serve. It's been a huge part of today's game. All right, 400 from Zverev is a winner, 40-15. Just stay in front. Makes it serve to stay in the match. 40-15. All right, 40-15. And there's a bit of fault from Zverev. Second serve. Second serve. Into the back and the Sinner. Return goes out. 5-4 Zverev. Okay. Zverev is even though he's winning, he doesn't look very happy. Yeah, he's not happy with his coaches, even though he is in the lead. Tense times all around. Okay. Sinner's going to serve to stay in the match. If we go 6-6, can Zverev keep up? I think Zverev will tire any exchanges later on. Well, it all comes down to Zverev's serve, right? If it goes to the tiebreak and Zverev's serve breaks down, which it could, right? Nerves and whatever. Also, Sinner taking the pickle juice just before, in the last service game, before the last service game, it won't kick in immediately. It'll probably kick in over the next couple of games. So I guess and he's drinking more pickle juice. So if Sinner is starting to cramp, or at least he had a little bit of cramp in his leg in that previous couple of games ago, as Fonseca, love 40 by the way, the pickle juice probably won't kick in until the tiebreak, right? So I guess if we do go that distance, and I've said the word twice, so we're not going to, but if we do now somehow go there, it'll definitely come down to Sinner's cramp or Zverev serve. One of those things will be the factor. Good or bad. Like if Sinner doesn't look sore, then he might just take the tiebreak, clutch it out. But if Zverev's serve was good, then maybe he can clutch it. Like we'll just see. But it's not going to happen now because we've said the word too many times. All right, Sinner's going to serve to stay in this match. And he serves out wide and Zverev in the net. 15-love. Still break point here for Fonseca in the second set. And he hits in the net. It's 30-40. Uh, 15-love as the return from Zverev goes into the forehand of Sinner. Zverev with the forehand to the back of Sinner. And Sinner in the net. 15-all. And Sinner grabs his hamstring again. He's definitely having problems with the back of his leg. It's just seizing up. Fonseca breaks, by the way. First game of the second. 1-love. So if Zverev can just get in the rallies, that's going to be a hell of an advantage in this game. Because if Sinner serves well, he might save the game. But if Zverev can just return it, and get the rallies going. Maybe Sinner's leg says no. Anyway, Sinner, good serve again. 30-15. Sinner's serve is... I mean, both these guys, their serves are saving them. All right, 30-15. Sinner serves again. An ace down the tee. All right, 40-15. Clutch serving from Jannik Sinner again. By the way, chat, we're over 500 likes, so appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got 4 more weeks of the season. Ace down the tee, Sinner, all right. Serve saves the day. 5-5. 5-5. Okay. Back to Zverev. Fonseca, by the way, setting a break, but he's down love 30. All right, serve down the tee from Zverev into the back of the Sinner. Forward from Zverev, the back of the Sinner. Into the back of Zverev. A Sinner backhand again to the back of Zverev. Into the back of the Sinner. Sinner in the net. And again, Sinner, when he hits backhands, that's hurting his leg the most. Like, he's missing backhands halfway up the net, and then he starts, like, stumbling around. The backhand is an issue. $15 love. Yeah, we are playing two. We're playing. It's been early on. It was a long exchanges at the in the first set, which has really helped Zverev. All right, backhand from Sinner into the forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand on the stretch. Into the forehand of Zverev. Now Sinner with a forehand. Zverev gets over the slice. Sinner comes in. Forehand cross-court winner. 15-all. 15-all. As Fonseca hits a winner. 40-30. All right, 40-30. All right, 15-all here. Zverev serves again. And the return goes into the backhand of Sinner. Backhand of Zverev. Again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand again. The backhand of Sinner. Into the backhand of Zverev. Down the line of the forehand of Sinner. Zverev hits it in the net. 15-30. Where's that serve? Where are those serves? Where are those serves? Fonseca 2 love, by the way. As the return goes in the net by Sinner. Good serve, Zverev, 30-all. All. Zverev serves down the tee. Sinner returns with a slice. In comes Zverev. Puts away the smash. He's sure. Yuck. Oh, yuck. Zverev with... Oh, yuck. That was so bad. He wins the point of the worst smash ever. He, like, shanked it. Zverev... He shanked it off the top of the racket. It hit the top of the net and went over. And he's like, I'm sorry. And even Sinner was like, bro, how did you almost mess that up? That was almost the worst shot of the day. That was so lucky. Zverev drop shot, Sinner gets with a pass, Zverev with a volley in the net, and we get the deuce. If he had missed that would have been horrific. Considering the score. That was so crazy. He still might get broken though, but man, that was... Like, Zverev almost missed the unmissable. It wasn't luck. That was not luck. That wasn't luck. That was just a horrible execution horrible execution. Like, Zverev should have put that away easily. Luck would have been had it hit the tape when he was on the baseline. That's luck. He made that look way harder than it had to be. Anyways, Deuce, Commentators Pro Zverev. Bro, welcome to the channel. You must have just got here. My name is Cam, and I don't like anyone. In fact, I don't even like tennis. Up the Arsenal. What's happening with the football? Why am I watching this? I don't even know. Deuce. Zverev serves. Into the forehand of Sinner. Return goes to forehand of Zverev. Sinner backhand. Into the backhand of Zverev. Into the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand on the stretch. Sinner goes down the middle. Zverev cross-court forehand. Sinner gets it. Zverev with the backhand cross-court. Sinner gets it with the forehand. Zverev's in trouble. Sinner backhand again. Into the backhand of Zverev on the stretch. Sinner, forehand, cross-court. Zverev gets it with a slice. Sinner with the forehand down the line. Zverev backhand again. Now Sinner with the backhand. Into the backhand of Zverev. Again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev is hanging on. Sinner backhand down the line. That's too good. See what Zverev tried to do there is he tried to just defend and hope Sinner would miss, but he didn't. Advantage Sinner to take the break and serve of the match. 24-shot rally. Woo! Woo! 2-1 Fonseca, by the way. Final, what is it? Second set. Great rally by Sinner. You could just tell that Zverev wasn't going to try and do something because he was too far back. And he was just sort of like, I hope this guy misses. And then Sinner hit a backhand winner. It was like, not happening. All right, advantage Sinner. Zverev with the serve. Zverev with the serve. People in the crowd are just yapping. Zverev with the serve. There's a fault. Second serve. Second serve. Into the backhand of Sinner. Backhand of Zverev to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand again to the backhand of Sinner. Zverev again with the backhand into the backhand of Sinner. Zverev backhand again. Down the line. Sinner gets it with the forehand on the stretch. Zverev in control. Goes forehand to forehand now as Zverev goes down the line. Sinner with the backhand cross court. Zverev gets it. But overhits it. Sinner breaks. Finally breaks in this final set. 6-5. And Sinner will serve for the match in the championship. All right. 6-5. Fonseca comes to the net. Fokina with the pass. Fonseca with the drop volley winner. You see that? What the hell? Okay. That put Alcaraz's volleys to shame. That did. Holy shit. 15 love. I thought this was a semi-final. Yeah, no, Alcaraz isn't playing this week, so we can't. This is the final. Sin Caraz is next week. Next Sunday we watch Sin Caraz. Today it's just Sinner because Alcaraz didn't play. 30 love Fonseca. All right. $30 love Fonseca. All right, here we go. Sinner serving for the championship to take another Vienna title. Now, I think he plays Paris. I don't think he's going to not play Paris because of this. Again, I think it's just a cramp. I don't think it's anything serious. So he'll play Paris. I would be shocked if he pulled out of Paris. 3-1 Fonseca in the second. All right, Sinner serving for the match. Sinner with a serve. Now, while the Zverev return is out, 15 love. $15 love. $15 love. Sinner serves again. Into the back, and Zverev return goes short. Sinner comes in. Forehand to the front of Zverev. Sinner with a volley. It's too good. 30 love. 2 points away. But chat, see, this is... Even though Sinner is likely going to win, this has been a very interesting matchup. And hopefully we get them play again at the ATP Finals and see what happens there. Because Zverev, I don't know if... Again, Zverev's game, for some reason, just troubles Sinner. It's never easy for Sinner against Zverev. When he crushes some other players. But he's just going to clutch it out now. 40-11. Zverev's thinking, man, I was up 40-30 in that last game and I just got broken. It was just one breaker serve to make the difference. And the title slips through his fingers. And he's probably thinking, I had this guy cramped. He was struggling to move at times in the final set. Championship points, Sinner. He serves a fault second serve. Second serve. Into the back and Zverev return, and there it is. Sinner wins. Sinner gets the win. He clutches it out. He hangs on. And he wins Vienna. But Zverev is a lot closer to Sinner than because again, we didn't see them play since Australia. And we've seen Alcaraz and Sinner obviously, beat the crap out of a lot of players. But Sinner versus Zverev, that matchup is one of the closer ones of, the Sincaraz versus the top 10. So, and it has been. I mean, it has been over the last couple of years. In fact, it's been Zverev's he's been winning those matchups in the last couple of years. But it's never it's never an easy win. I know the Australian Open felt easy, but that second set was a tiebreak, and there was chances for Zverev in that tiebreak, or at least a chance to take the second. But Zverev doesn't get embarrassed by Sinner. Like, it doesn't happen. Even when we think, oh well, Sinner's so much better than everybody, except for, Alcaraz is the only one who can trouble Sinner. No. Zverev consistently seems to be a problem. And that's good. So hopefully we see them play again at the ATP Finals, and because if it's anything like this match, it's going to be good. Great serving, by the way, from both. Zverev was serving great up until that 5-all game, and Sinner's serve saved him throughout that final set when his legs weren't working properly. So the serving of these guys was definitely the highlight of the match with the serving. Fonseca, by the way, 3-1. As Fokina hits a drop shot, and it's a winner. All right, 3-2 Fonseca in the second. He's up a set and a break. But yeah, good to see though. I like that result. That's a good result. I'm happy with that result. That we didn't. It wasn't one-sided, and it felt that was the best thing for next week and the week after, because had Sinner have beaten Zverev easily, I think next week everything would have been boring until Sinner. But at least now with Zverev, and Zverev and Sinner could play in the semis next week. Zverev's got a tough draw, but if he can get through to the semis, it'll be another rematch there. So, there's a chance we could get another match between these two. And of course, the ATP finals, they could be in the group stage together. So, we'll see what happens. But I'm glad that Zverev was able to test Sinner. And I think we learned something today as well, that physically, Zverev is, when Zverev is able to play those long rallies and push Sinner around early, physically, Zverev is able to, force Sinner to have those physical problems at the end. He was taking the pickle juice. He was cramping a little bit. Zverev looked fresh the entire time. He looked fine. He just got a little nervous at 5-all, but, and serving, right? But Zverev, I think Zverev showed that, hey, physically, if it becomes a physical battle, maybe it's a little bit of more advantage for Zverev if it becomes a physical fight. Whereas when it's a shot for shot, Sinner wins, right? But maybe when it's a bit, and obviously mentally, Sinner can clutch it like he did, even if his body's not agreeing. But physically, I think Zverev testing Sinner that way. He's, the longer the match goes, the better for Zverev, it seems. And maybe next time they play, if it's a slower match and a slower court and more of a physical battle, which it was pretty physical today, maybe Zverev will like his chances. Zverev's the only player, I think, in the top 10 besides Alcaraz that would probably like their chance against Sinner because he knows he can beat him. He's beaten him a lot, a bunch before, but also he's never really been beaten down. There's, whereas, other guys in the top 10 have been beaten badly by Sinner and don't want to play him because they could get embarrassed. But Zverev doesn't get embarrassed by Sinner. He just maybe just got, and he'll probably say in the press conference, he wasn't looking great down the other end and I let him off the hook. I'm sure that's something Zverev's going to say. I lost that match. I let him win. I let him get back into it when I could see physically he wasn't looking great. I just couldn't. That one slipped away from Zverev. That was there for him to win against the physicality of it was in his favor. He'll probably say that. That one got away. He let that one get away. But that was good. I'm glad we got a good final like that. It's rare that we get anything other than a Sinner final being good. Whenever Sinner plays anybody, it's kind of like a surprise if somebody gets a set. But to have a match go down to the wire like that without it being Alcaraz versus Sinner, good. Finally. When was the last time Sinner played a final, a close final set like that against somebody other than Alcaraz? When was the last time somebody pushed Sinner to the very end? Recently, besides Alcaraz at the US, at the French, and the US. Yeah, I don't think nobody is. Novak won. That was a 3-setter at the French. So yeah, no one this year has been in a best of 3 sets match has pushed Sinner into the to have to clutch it out. Griekspoor did beat Sinner and broke him down physically after a couple of hours, which is interesting because Griekspoor and Zverev play those epic matches all the time. So it's interesting to see that Griekspoor, he was able to break Sinner physically in Shanghai. Different conditions, obviously super humid and stuff, but Zverev was able to, also get to Sinner physically towards the end there. So maybe there's something there. Maybe for these players that are more of a, obviously you're going to have a good serve because that's what Zverev was able to do for most part. But, I would love to see someone like a Medvedev versus Sinner then. Medi versus Sinner, Medi has a lot of those things. Maybe there is something for some, all these other players to kind of go, okay, if I can take him out into a past 2 hours, maybe I can outlast Sinner, or at least try and get physically. We can it'd be more of a physical battle. But you have to serve well. I think that's the big thing, right? If you can't serve well and you can't hold serve, Sinner's gonna dominate you. But if you can serve well and also try and drag Sinner into these long rallies early and push him into a third set in over 2 hours, maybe there's a chance. Maybe you got a chance then. Zverev at least has a chance. Anyways, I'm going to send you over to the next... Well, I'm going to send you to the... This match is almost over, by the way. You're flying through this Fonseca-Fokina match. But it might be over in about 5 seconds because Fokina's at 30-all at... 30-15, 4-2 Fonseca in the second. But jump on over if you want to keep watching and watch us all celebrate Fonseca winning his first 500 or not. But jump on over. We'll keep talking about Sinner and Zverev as well, so jump on over if you want to keep on talking about them as well. But good win by Sinner. Clutches it out in the end, but wasn't without his troubles. Had to fight physically towards the end there. But he just clutches out at 5-all in that final set. He breaks, he wins a set, he wins the title, and he will be going to Paris with a trophy in Vienna. I think it's second Vienna trophy as well. So, nice work by Sinner. He clutches it out. Come on over and watch Fonseca or Fokina win. One of them's going to win.